Okay. Well, I warned you I was going to make another video, and if you keep it up, I'm going to do more. Anyway, what am I going to do today? I'm going to do a very quick, simple dish called a pasta alla matriciana. And I'm going to start out with one version of it called a pasta alla matriciana bianca, which is white with no tomato. And then we're going to end up with a pasta alla matriciana rosa, which has tomato added. So how do we get started? First, we're going to start with what they call smoked pork jowl. In Italy, we'll call it guanciale. Go down to your grocery store, and you're not going to find guanciale. And I'm going to go, hey, do you really think I'm going to go try to find the Italian grocery in Richmond? No, I'm not. I'm tired, and I want to get this over with so I can sit on the couch and smoke cigarettes. Okay, so what I did, went down to Giant, cured smoked pork jowls, southern ingredient. See the connection? Same cut of meat, same curing process, and it's going to add a really, really great dimension to our dish. So what are we going to do? We're going to take our pork jowl, and we're going to slice it. We're going to slice it thin. Okay? Chef's knife. Remember that? Did you go spend $200 on one? I hope so. We're going to put it in our pan. Okay? Now, what you don't want to do is cut through to that. You see that? That's pig skin. That's what they make freaking footballs out of. But what you can do is use it as backstop for your knife and just turn the knife slightly and just shave off against it. So, into our pan, we have about 7 slices of our smoked pork jowl. What's great about it? It's high fat, it's high sodium, it's totally bad for you, but like everything else in life, it's the best there is. So, enough of that. Let's go on. Into our pan, and we're going to put our pan on, I guess medium high. I could tell you a lot easier if I didn't have these bullshit burners, but I don't. I got electric, I don't have gas, and that's just how we're going to have to deal with it. If I can deal with it, you can deal with it. So, our next step, our onions. How do you cut an onion? Like this. Onion. You've seen pictures. Sit down, take notes. Cut the end off. Cut the other end off. Cut it in half. Okay? Peel it. Throw the ends on the floor. Who cares? You live alone. You have drinking problems. Nobody's going to come over. So here we have our onions, okay? 2 halves. How do we cut it? Well, it's very simple, depending on your cut. You want to cut it like this way. So you end up with very thin slices. See that? I recommend trying to do it that fast on your first time. Or, if you want to dice. Same way, but cut across. Don't cut all the way through because it'll fall apart and then you'll freak out and you'll just grab a bottle of scotch. You'll call everybody and say, hey, forget it, I got problems. And then you dice it up, okay? And that's that. And for this dish, since I'm only going to do 1 serving, which I'm going to throw away because I won't eat it, that's about half a cup of onions. Next, garlic. How do we deal with garlic? Well, the way I do it is I take the heads and I put them in a big Ziploc bag. Then I smash it down with my monkey paw. Okay? It breaks all the cloves up into individual cloves. The word was individual. But if you split hairs, you're not going to like these videos. Find a clove. Push it up towards the top. Okay? And just smash it with your knife. And then what you end up with is the clove of garlic, and you can drop the skin back in the bag. And that way you don't have those goddamn garlic skins blowing all over the place, which I hate. Because if there's anything I hate more than cooking, it's cleaning up. 2 cloves will be fine for this. You can add more if you like. You can not add any if you like, but I don't want to eat it if you don't. So, how do we deal with garlic? Once we get to this point, here's our cloves. And we want to slice these very thin. We're not going to mince them, but I'll show you how to mince it. Okay? So when you separate it, it's going to crush it up a little. And then when you slice it, it's going to be pretty finely chopped. So we're good to go on that. If you want to mince it, here's how you mince. You do the same thing. Okay? And then you just put it down. Go right across. Okay, that's minced. One quick tip, if you want a really, really ultra fine paste and you want to not mind a little bit of saltiness in it, add a little bit of salt to it. and then go like this. Okay? Just push it against your cutting board, kind of grind it against it. And what you end up with is fine paste of garlic, but we're going to put that in there too. So anyway, into our pan we have our smoked pork jowl sliced thin. I gotta wash this garlic off my hands. Wash my hands whether they need them or not. Grab some tongs. Most useful thing in the kitchen, next to a good sous chef and a great dishwasher. We're going to start these off kind of slow so they render their porcine goodness, their juice, their fat, their sodium, their cholesterol, everything that's great about pork. And we're just going to kind of crank it up a little bit. And we're going to cook these until they're kind of translucent, and it's going to take about 4 or 5 minutes. We'll flip them over and then give them another minute or two. Then we'll finish our dish, and I'll show you how to finish it really fast. So this dish takes nothing but the pork, the onions, the garlic, a little bit of crushed red chili, a little bit of black pepper, some salt. And I like to keep mine in an old funky cigar ashtray. Why? I don't know, man. It's kind of funky and gross, but I do it. And that's it. So we're going to let our pork start cooking around. And what I do, I push all the pork to one side because I've already gotten bored with this, so I want to get on with it. Take our onions. The pork have rendered enough fat right now to start slowly cooking our onions. Okay? So, what do we got in our pan? Tell me, Pete, I'm dying to know. In our pan, right now, we've got our pork jowl that's rendered off some of its fat, our onions and garlic, and we're just going to kind of move those around a little bit. The hell with these. No, let's do it like you do in the kitchen at a restaurant. We use our fingers because my fingers long ago lost their feeling of burning and anything. Yeah. So when our pork starts to curl up, we're going to kind of caramelize our onions and our pork jowl together. And we're going to let that go 3-4 minutes, however long it takes. And the cool thing about this is I don't have an exhaust hood in my kitchen, so if it fills up with smoke, I'm going to go with it because this is reality TV, my kind of reality, and it's a harsh reality. So when our onions and garlic get a little bit softened, throw in a generous pinch of crushed red chili. I like a lot because I like it really spicy, and that way people go, oh, it's too spicy for me, and you get more. Then we take some black pepper, throw that in there, up in there and shit. And we cook that around, push it to one side. Now, at this point, if we let our onions and garlic caramelize a little bit more, throw our pasta in. That's it. And that is the pasta alla matriciana bianca. It doesn't get any simpler than that. And people are going to split hairs and go, well, an amatriciana has tomato in it. Shut up. There's 2 versions. Check it out. Because the only thing more encyclopedic than my food knowledge is my laundry list of character defects. One of which is raging alcoholism, which is why I won't put any wine in this, because I can't have any alcohol in my house, because I'll drink all of it, and then I'll go drink every bit of alcohol I can find in the city, and then I'll be walking down Monument Avenue with my pants down. Anyway, so there we go. We'll tilt it up so you can see it. Very simple. Our pork, our onions, and our chili, and our garlic. Now, almost done. A little bit of olive oil. Okay? Now, at this point, the bianca is finished. And what I do is throw my pasta in here and toss it around, check it for salt. Finish it up with a little grated cheese, probably a Parmesan or a Romano or a Pecorino or a Asiago, which is what I'm going to use here in a minute. Alright, so there we have it. Bianca, finished. Throw your pasta in, sit down, eat it, start worrying about tomorrow. What I've done, we're going to do the rosa. Taking a can of half-empty diced tomatoes I found in my refrigerator. Rich food. How ironic. I stuck an immersion blender in it and just pureed them. So what we're going to do, we're going to add that to it. I know the specific amounts and directions are very helpful. That's how I like to roll, and it is what a concerned host I am. Cook for just a minute, and then we'll add our pasta, which I've taken the liberty of cooking earlier. In this case, we're using a whole wheat penne because I just like whole wheat pasta better. Traditionally, this would call for a percatelli or a bucatini. I hate that pasta so much that if I could find the person that invented it, I would force him to eat it all until he exploded. I hate it. I hate the pasta. It's impossible to eat. And it's impossible to control in the pan. I hate it. So there we go. We'll season it with a little bit of salt. Now, for the very untraditional, because you know me, I'm not traditional at all. A little fresh basil, because I have about 40 pounds growing in the garden, and I don't know what to do with it, so I never cook and eat at home. And it's actually my landlord's basil. I just go out and pilfer it. And some Italian parsley. And we're going to give those a rough chop. And if it starts to dry out on you, I'll tell you what you do. It's tricky. This is where it gets tricky. Do a little bit of water in there. That's right. Just water. And we're going to do a quick chiffonade. Fancy cooking term. I just call it chopping shit up. Roll it up a little, and then we do little hair-like strands. Throw that in, and that's it. You've got the nice sweet mellowness of the onions. You've got the saltiness, the smokiness of the pork. You've got the tomatoes, the acidity, the sweetness of the basil, and the extremely parsley-like flavor of the parsley. Put the rest of it in there. And that's it. We're done. Dinner's on. Come on over. Nobody else is. And we'll add a little bit more tomato in the end because I don't feel like having any more in my refrigerator. How do we finish? Show you. Right like this. Take it. Take our hot pan. We put it into our bowl. Oh, get in there. So we do that. And because I'm anal retentive about things, wipe the rim. Just like that. Then we finish with a little bit of Asiago. Asiago is very similar to a Parmesan or a Pecorino or Romano. It's a wee bit sweeter. And besides that, it was on sale. It was cheap. And that's exactly why I bought it. Little fresh basil. Boom. Done. That took 13 minutes. Everybody's got 13 minutes. That's approximately how much time I have to get some sleep before I continue to work. So anyway, that's your dinner. And we'll see how this works. I'll refine my narrative style as we go on. But this is a growing process, so you can grow with me. That's it. Later.